I want to tell you a story of my visit to the gate of heaven. And I say gate because I wasn't allowed to enter in. One of the angels said, "It's not my time." But it's a very personal story close to my heart. And there's a reason I'm sharing this story, and you'll come to know at the end. It was 2019, May. I was helping a very large church music group open up their music conference for 3 days in Los Angeles, California, at a Staples Stadium. It was in May. It was pretty hot, and they were looking for volunteers to help with everything, with prayer, with offering, ushering, with setting up decorations, and tearing things down. So I volunteered for 3 days, and the schedule was very hectic. It was 7 in the morning till late at night. We did everything: preparation, decoration, ushering, handing out gifts, collecting offerings, and praying for people before the service, after the service. Um, whatever need was there, we were there to help. The last day was the most difficult day because every morning at 7 our day will start. Sometimes we didn't have time to eat. Um, but the last day, it was difficult because we did everything plus tearing everything down. The equipments that this church group had brought, that's been set up in that big auditorium. They brought 3 truckloads of equipment. They were expecting 100 volunteers, but there were only 30 of us. So we had to work very hard to help them. The conference was very successful. A lot of people came to know Jesus. A lot of them were healed, touched, delivered. The presence of God was there, and it was wonderful. Just such a privilege to be part of such events. But the last day, the whole thing ended around 10 o'clock, and our job was to tear everything down, down to the very stadium that's been set. The not the stadium, sorry, the stage that was set. They brought their own stage. So we started working. It was getting late. Everybody was tired. One by one, they just retired themselves because they were so tired of working. At the end, there were only a handful of us working till 2 in the morning. I remember I was working with Jake, 18, 19-year-old boy, a missionary child from Thailand. This was his first time coming to LA and assisting and being part of the conference. He was so excited. He was also very faithful, worked very hard. We loaded up the last truck with all the equipment, and it was around 2:30 in the morning. We looked at each other and said, "Oh, thank God, we're going to crash. We're just going to crash at our room." So as we were walking back to my hotel that we were put in, I asked him, "So what room are you in? Where are you sleeping?" He said, "Oh, I sleep in my car." And I said, "What?" "Yeah, yeah. I didn't have money to pay for the hotel, but because of volunteering, they let me be part of the conference. So I brought my car, and I'm sleeping in this car." I was quite shocked, and I was very tired as well. Although I didn't want to be involved in this little gritty things of somebody else's life, my heart was touched because I knew this guy, this missionary kid, was very, very faithful, hardworking. I've seen his work for the last 3 days. So I said, no, it's you won't be sleeping in a car today. That's just not right. I don't think I can sleep peacefully knowing that you will be sleeping in a car. So I went to the hotel manager, asked, "Can I have this person in my room?" Asked the roommate also and got their permission. Graciously, the hotel manager didn't charge for extra person. So by the time we were in our room, it was 3 in the morning, and there were only 2 beds, single beds. Uh, and I offered Jake my bed. I slept in it for 2 nights, so the last night he could have this bed. I was so tired. I found a little long bench. It wasn't a sofa. It was like a long bench where you can lie down in the room. I put some sheets there and went to bed. Jake didn't want to sleep in my bed, but I forced him to sleep in my bed. 3 in the morning, we simply crashed. I don't remember how we went to sleep, but it was around 6 in the morning. I was woken up suddenly, and my spirit came out of my body. Uh, it was just my spirit came out of my body, and I was going up, and I was able to look down. I was looking at the hotel. It was going at such a high speed. I was looking at America, and then the whole globe, the whole world was in my sight. I was moving so fast. And then I went in through this cloud. There was a cloud, not like there was a cloud above the clouds, not the clouds that was surrounding the earth, but way above in the universe there was another cloud. I just went through it, and I saw little children playing there. They were jumping into the cloud, flying back up, and as soon as I went there, I knew heaven was in that place. I could see the gates of heaven uh, far away, in a walking distance, and there were many people outside the gate that were coming. I wasn't the only one there. There were so many other people who just arrived. I think there were family or friends that were greeting them. They were happy, they were hugging, they were talking, there were angels, there were little children playing. And I thought to myself, I'm going to heaven. And I was so happy, so I started making my walk towards the gate, that I could see the gate and the city behind the gate, the big walls. Um, And as I was going, somebody came right in front of me. I think it was an angel. And he said, you can't go any further. I said, why? Because it's not your time yet. It's not your time. And as soon as he said that, I fell back into the cloud, went back into the universe, and I could see the globe of the earth. And I went all the way down my hotel and right into my body. And my body and my spirit woke up together. As I woke up, I was very disappointed I didn't get to go into the gate, but the whole atmosphere of heaven, I don't know how to explain it. It's not happiness. It's more than that. It was happiness times 1,000. The ecstatic, just the ecstatic bliss of the whole atmosphere was still around me. Um, just the joy that I can't. There's no words to explain how wonderful and blissful and ecstatic the atmosphere of heaven is. And I wasn't even inside the gates; it was just outside. And that feeling, that atmosphere, stayed with me the whole day as I was traveling back in the plane and back into where I was. The whole day, that atmosphere kind of stayed with me. I was so grateful and upset, disappointed at the same time. And many days passed, and one day I asked the Lord, "Why did you let me experience going up to the gates if you weren't gonna let me in?" Um, of course, it wasn't my time, and I got the answer from the Lord. And this is what I want to share with you. You know, many years I've been praying, even fasting, to have such experiences of seeing Jesus or going to heaven, like Apostle Paul and Ezekiel, Isaiah, John, and many others. I've been praying and asking the Lord for many years. But it was that May 24th night, 24th, 25th night, the Lord gave me a glimpse of what heaven looks like, feels like. I guess the atmosphere is what I felt the most, of blissful, ecstatic, amazing, wonderful atmosphere of heaven. Even thinking about it now, I go back to that feeling. Um, I asked the Lord why now, and the answer He gave me is, because you gave your bed to Jake. Because you gave your bed to Jake. When He said that, I wept and I cried. I don't know why. It was like such revelation hit me. Oh, it's this easy to please God. I don't have to do great things. It's just sharing a bed for a missionary child who was sleeping in the car. A small sacrifice, but a small act of kindness and uh, self-denial. It wasn't such a big thing. I don't think that was a big thing. But such small acts of kindness in the right time towards right people touches God's heart. And that's why he told me, he let me experience a little glimpse of the atmosphere of heaven and the city I could see way up there that we will all go to. I share this story to let you know it's not hard to please God. In your everyday life, you have people who are weary and tired, who need encouragement, who need a little bit of your love, a little bit of your sacrifice. Maybe you need to give something away. You give your time or your money um, or your comfort just to accommodate this person that's around you. It could be family, it could be friends, it could be a stranger. But a small act of kindness touches God's heart. And that's how he gives you favor for the things that you were longing for. And it just happens like that. So I want to encourage you today. I want such more experiences like that. So I'm always looking for opportunity to show kindness, to show sacrifice, to prefer others before myself. Of course, not because only of that experience, because I realized just giving my bed to Jake, just for those few hours of the night, touched God's heart. And this is how simple God is for us. He's not expecting great things. Do you remember Micah chapter 6, where Micah the prophet said, asked the Lord, how can I please the Lord? What can I come to the Lord Almighty? Thousands of rams or thousands of olive oil or even my life or the fruit of my life? And he answered and said, the Lord has shown you what is right and acceptable. To walk humbly with the Lord, to love mercy, to act justly. Simple things in life that you face every day touches God's heart if you choose justice, kindness, and humility. God bless you. I pray that you will have such an even greater and amazing experiences with God as you live on this earth. We need such a touch sometimes to encourage us to keep going. Bless you guys.